What's going on, everybody? David here. Today, we're going to talk about the unemployment rate, how it dropped, and does this mean that we're not going to get stimulus checks? But first off, on this channel, we talk about personal finance for travelers. If that sounds like something interesting to you, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the little bell notification so you can get future updates on my videos. Okay, so there are two things I want to talk about today. I want to talk about the White House. I want to talk about Trump because Trump did have a press conference earlier, and he mentioned a few things that I think are very, very important for us to look at in order to go forward with the good news that we received today. So there was good news. The unemployment rate did drop. It went from 14.7% down to 13.3%. We saw in May that 2.5 million people were able to go back to work, which is good, but that still puts us at a high, 30 million plus people that are unemployed still. So, we have to look at that big number, but we're going in the right direction. So although this is good news, we still need, economists are saying that we still need months and months of growth in order to get back to some of the numbers that we were seeing before. So just because we have 2.5 million people in May, they were able to get their jobs back, or they were able to get back into the job market, we're still going to have to work in order to get back to those numbers. So it's a good sign, but it's even more of a reason why, and this is my opinion, more of a reason why I think stimulus is necessary. And economists say that some of the hardest hit sectors were the ones that rebounded the best. So like the restaurant industry. So where they were closed completely before, they opened up, and even if they're at 25% capacity or 50% capacity, they were able to hire back some employees. And so they are the ones that saw the biggest gains. And so that's even more of a reason why we need more stimulus into the economy, because we're in a situation where now you've opened these restaurants. Of course, they're going to have to hire back some employees. They probably still don't know exactly how many, like what the revenue is as far as coming in, how many people are going to be going to their restaurants. So they'll hire, let's say they hire 5 people back, and they're hoping that they're able to sustain that and able to get that revenue coming in so they can hire even more people, but they still have to kind of wait and see what's going to happen. And so this is the time where you need to give people money. That way they can go into these restaurants or feel more comfortable going to these restaurants, because let's face it, if you are struggling to pay your bills, the last thing you're going to be thinking about is going to a restaurant to eat. So if you do have a little bit more money and you're a little bit more secure, then that's when you'll go to the restaurants. So it's interesting because Trump, in his press conference, he talked a little bit about what he wants to see at this point. And I know the Senate's doing the whole wait and see thing, and this is good news. So this might mean that, the Senate will just say, hey, you know what? We don't need any more stimulus. We're pretty much done when it comes to stimulus. We're going to let the economy just get back on track by these businesses hiring more people, and then it'll just kind of snowball from there. But the Trump administration, basically, he's still pushing for the payroll tax cuts. That's one thing that he really wants, and he's been talking about that. So that will mean that if you are working, then you're going to get a little bit more in your paycheck every week or every 2 weeks or every month when you get paid. So that would be something that would benefit people who are working. Now, they still haven't talked about the people who are on fixed income, retired, and things like that. So that's something that's going to need to be addressed. And maybe that will be addressed with more stimulus, which is something that he said. He said that, and I say he, I mean the president, said that we do need additional stimulus. Now, he didn't say stimulus checks, but he said additional stimulus. So I'm not saying that the president's saying that we're getting stimulus checks. I'm just saying he's saying additional stimulus. Now, he made sure to mention the payroll tax cut, so that will address the people who are working. But what about the people who aren't working, on unemployment, or people who are on fixed income, on retirement, Social Security, and all that? So additional stimulus to me would mean that that's probably what he's talking about. Now, he could be talking about more stimulus for state and local governments, because you see that restaurants are, they're starting to hire people. When it comes to the governments, the state and local governments, they're laying people off or putting people on furlough right now because they're out of money. All this COVID-19 stuff has put them in a situation where they've been spending a lot of money, paying a lot of overtime for a variety of different first responders and things like that. And so now they need to make decisions on how they're going to go forward. So they do need some more funding. So that could be what he's talking about when it comes to stimulus. But we don't really know exactly what he's referring to, but the fact that he is still on board for more stimulus, whatever it is a good thing. That means that we're probably looking at another stimulus package. And we might even be looking at a situation where they try to hurry some stuff through. And the reason I'm saying that is you have these good job numbers. So why not stimulate the economy sooner than later? That way, June's job numbers will be even better. So that might be something they're looking at, because what you don't want to happen, and this is, I think, and I touched on this, but let's say you do have a restaurant, you open up and you don't have people coming into your restaurant, and you start laying people off. Well, that's going to have that reverse effect where you hired people in May and now you're laying people off in June because you just don't have the number. You can't pay your employees because of the whole situation. You don't have customers coming in. So that's what they don't want to happen. So if you can hurry this along, if you wait even longer, then you might be in a situation where these numbers are going to start to fade and it won't be good. So good numbers, good job numbers. That's always welcome. We all want to see that, because I think we all can agree that we want to get out of this whole situation. And so that's a good thing, but we want to make sure that we still take care of our economy by stimulating the economy and by getting people, getting money in people's hands so they can go ahead and spend that money and back these companies up, back these businesses up. These businesses are taking huge risks right now where they're opening back up, and there's no liability protection for a lot of these businesses. So they can still be sued if they're not following the proper procedure. I don't even know if there's like official procedures that are going on. I think each county's kind of handling that themselves. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens in the future. But this could be good for stimulus checks, which is something that people are probably like, no, it's impossible for it to be good. This could be good because it could be a situation where they say, hey, there's some urgency here. Let's try to stimulate the economy sooner than later and have even better numbers in June, because that's what you're going to want. You don't want to see worse numbers in June than you did in May, because then that will show a sign that we're going in the wrong direction, and that would be really, really bad. So you want to make sure these numbers in June are going to be better than the numbers in May. And if you wait and don't do anything, you might not see better numbers, because we do need to understand in May, what was going on in May? We were still receiving stimulus checks. Stimulus checks started April 15th. And so in May, people were still were receiving money. And so they were able to stimulate the economy with that money. Now in June, we might not see anything. So we might not see any type of direct payments to individuals. And so if that's the case, then the whole stimulating of the economy is not going to happen. So that's just my take. I want to know what you guys think. What do you guys think about the job numbers? Do you think we're out of the woods and we don't have to worry about any more stimulus checks? Let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.